All right, tonight we are talking about one of my absolute favorite strengths, which is adaptability. I'm really excited to share this strength with you. Now, normally when I do these strengths, or I give you the descriptions, I give you the sacred, I give you the sinister. I usually have a notepad, down here with my notes on and things. I don't even have that right now. In fact, I took off my reading glasses, so I'm not reading anything at all. And the reason is because I know adaptability very well. Why do I know it so well? Because it's actually my number 5 strength. Now, those of you who are familiar with our coaching, you know how important the number 5 is, your number 5 strength when we're working on your divine natural abilities and we're working on your proclamation statement and all these kinds of things. The number 5 is huge. This is kind of the grand marshal or the general of all your strengths. Number 5 is very critical, and it just so happens that mine is adaptability. So let's talk a little bit about this. Adaptability is part of the relationship building domain. And adaptability is a lot about going with the flow of things and discovering your future one day at a time. It's a very mellow strength when it's working well. So when you're on top of this, and this is when one of your sacred strengths. If you know an adaptability person, odds are they're a pretty chill person overall. They're probably pretty fun to hang around with. They just go with the flow of what everybody else is doing. They don't need to be in charge of anything. They don't need to give things a lot. They don't need to be all thinking about the future or the past. By the way, adaptability is one of the 3 strengths that are time restraints. We also have, so because it's right here, it's the present. We're living in the present. That's what adaptability is all about. The other 2 time strengths, one would be context, which is about using the past to help determine what your future is going to be. And we'll get more into that when we get to that strength. And the other one, of course, is futuristic, which is about having that joy of seeing, all the possibilities that are coming up down the road and focusing on that. That brings futuristic people a lot of joy. So I'm not futuristic at all. I am very much an adaptability person. That means I like to discover my future as it comes to me, as it shows up. I take it for what it's worth, and I'm good with that. I like that. I get excited about discovering new things each and every day in real time. That's very cool for me. And like I said, I don't need to be in charge of it necessarily. I don't need to direct other people in this. I don't need. I could just kind of, hey, what are you guys doing? I can do that. I can adapt to that. So adaptability is a very flexible strength when you're working. Well, it kind of makes sense. Adaptability, you're going to be flexible, right? So I really do love this strength, and this was when I first got my strengths report way before I got into coaching. I struggled with this one a little bit, and it's because I didn't want to be indecisive. I didn't want to be the person who doesn't know what they want to do or where they want to go in the future. Growing up and as a young adult getting into the job market and stuff, one of those questions you hear is, what's your 5-year plan? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? What do you and those kinds of questions frustrate the adaptability person. Sometimes it kind of getting too futuristic can freak me out. Now, my wife Kim has adaptability. I think it's her number 29, so it's almost in her bottom 5, and we call the bottom 5 strengths the shadow strengths. More about that at another time. But she is very high futuristic. In fact, her number 5, again, very powerful strength to be in the number 5 position, is futuristic. So you see how this could create some potential conflicts. Kim is very futuristic. Experiences a lot of joy by thinking about all the possibilities that we have in front of us down the road, and heading on those things, not worrying so much about the details today, about what we have to do to get there, but just constantly thinking about what is possible. That's a very futuristic mindset. And for an adaptability person like me, that can kind of freak me out. That can kind of it's for me, it's a little scary to go futuristic. So she has to warn me. We figured out a good way of dealing with this, and she will literally tell me, "Okay, Ron, I need you to fasten your seatbelt, and I need you to get ready because I'm going to be futuristic with you." And so I will have to mentally, emotionally kind of fasten my seatbelt, take a deep breath, and listen to what she's talking about. And that seems to work pretty well for us. If she does not do that and she goes futuristic and I'm not there and I'm not ready for it, I get very uneasy with that, and I can get very I don't know, just it just greatly affects my mood in a very negative way. I can get very upset by that. So that's just some of the key insights into adaptability. So adaptability is about going with the flow, discovering your future one day at a time, being kind of chill, doing your thing, and not necessarily overly focused on futuristic goals, but kind of knowing the direction you want to go in. So let's talk now about some of the sinister things that we can run into when adaptability goes sinister. And believe me, I can tell you firsthand, this strength can get sinister. One of the biggest problems with adaptability is if you let it go there. If it starts working against you, is one of the things is you just like I said, we talked about being indecisive. You don't really have a plan. Or one of the problems I have to be careful of is to make sure I don't adapt my way out of a plan, that I'm pursuing. So, or that our business is pursuing, or that people I'm work with are pursuing, and they need my help with that. I have to make sure I stay the course with them. I have to make sure I stay in that supportive role. So for me, I love my adaptability strength, but I also need something to kind of anchor myself to. I need a strength that I can focus some more energy into to help myself from being too adaptable. Another problem that you can have with adaptability is you can just adapt yourself right out of some really positive habits. I can start a new diet, or I can start a new, coursework or learning process or some kind of personal development, and I can adapt to that very quickly and get into it. But if I'm not careful, I can adapt myself right back out of it again too. So we have to be careful of that. One of the biggest examples I can think of when the adaptive strength goes sinister is when we're dealing with people we love and care about. So if we see, for example, that a loved one is struggling with something, and we see that they're making choices. Like, for example, I'm a parent, so I have two grown children, wonderful children, but I can remember when they were growing up, and if I saw them, I was concerned about a decision they were making, I would want to jump in there and try to control the situation. And adaptability people need to be very careful of that, because that is taking you out of your sacred strengths. Adaptability is not about control. It's kind of the opposite of that. And so if you see an adaptability person, if you're an adaptability person, or you're married to one, or you work closely with one, or whatever, and you see them starting to take control of a situation, that means that things are going to get ugly for a bit. That means that they're pulled out of their strength. Something has triggered them so much that they've actually kind of abandoned their adaptability and started to, exercise authority or something. And when that happens, it's not good. So how do we keep from doing that? One of the things I think is just we got to do our best to allow people to make their mistakes, first of all, but not get too emotionally caught up into it. And that's hard, especially when you're dealing with your kids or you're dealing with a spouse or something like that. That can be very difficult. But if you know you have high adaptability, try to stay adaptable. That is a strength. And stay adaptable, but at the same time, use some of your other strengths that you can kind of anchor to support you through that. I think that kind of makes the most sense. So for me, for example, I have belief is my number 7 strength, and belief strength is a very Hey, guess what? We're probably talking about, let's see, probably 3 more days we'll be covering belief. But belief is a great strength to kind of anchor to if you're kind of losing your footing with adaptability. That's a great one. Uh, Another one might be consistency, or if you have deliberative or something like that. All kinds of great strengths out there you can kind of anchor to a little bit, kind of shift a little more energy into those, and you're not abandoning your adaptability, but you're also not, you're also not letting it get out of whack on you. So that's the best thing I can say for you right now. I've gone a little bit long on this video, but I do love my adaptability strength, and I hope if you have it or you know someone that has it, that you found this particular video useful. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon, and remember, inspiration starts here.